Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is G. Cole, and welcome to Homegrown, where we share with you some good music while talking to some great people. Hello world, hope you're feeling as good as I am. I want to big up all my homegrown listeners out there and welcome all the new listeners. If you haven't yet subscribed, please do so we can keep you updated when new material is available. We will be posting new episodes bi-weekly. Want to thank everyone who has been listening and sharing. Please leave us a comment. We'd love to hear from you. Please check out the website homegrownwithgcole.com to listen and for all things homegrown. The podcast is available on iTunes, Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Play, iHeartRadio, Radio.com, YouTube, wherever you listen to your podcast. We are there. We're also very interactive. Please follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at MyGCole. The video of this interview is also available on YouTube. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. This is episode 148, and today we talk about something that's heavy in the diaspora and the Jamaican community: patriotism, or might I say, pressured patriotism. Let's get at it. This episode comes to you courtesy of the latest release from yours truly. It's called She Said. Now you can go over to bandcamp.com and put in G Cole and search the catalog. There's albums up there. There's singles up there. Go ahead and check out the catalog, all right?
Welcome. We're talking about pressured patriotism. What is that? Okay. People will say, we will say, that our people are one of the most patriotic people you will find, right? We believe that. Black, green, and gold. Hardships there are, but the land is green and the sun shining, right? I think I moved to the U.S. some 28 years ago. And in my 28 years living in this country, I have only come across one Jamaican who was not a lover of Jamaica, who spoke ill, who said stuff like, "Nah, go back." And it was so foreign to me, so strange to me, still remains strange and foreign to me. I've never heard it anywhere else. But I will never, ever, you have your right to feel how you feel, because your reality, your backstory is not the same as mine and vice versa, all right? My reality is not your reality. Whatever I've gone through, my enjoyment, my love for the culture, what I do, what I've dealt with is me, right? And I've had nothing but beautiful, beautiful moments in Jamaica to this day. To this day. Every single time I go to Jamaica, whether it be for one day or whether it be for 1 week or whether it be for however long, I never want to leave. No, I've gotta, but I never want to leave. Dante Lodge up, Empress Wagwan. Much love as always. I appreciate you. Never want to leave, right? Hey, Simone, how you doing? So good to see you. So that patriotism ain't just me, but it's rooted in nostalgia. It's rooted in history. It's rooted in what I've been taught. It's rooted in indoctrination, culture. It's Jamaica, man. What else can I say? It's Jamaica. It's food. It's beaches. It's music. It's sports. It's overall culture. It is people. Anywhere in the world you go, there's crazy things going. I've traveled a lot. I've seen a lot of countries in the world. Spent time there, just vacationing, not working where I don't get to see the things, but just vacationing. You at work, Simi, you at work. Turn on the things of the boss not here, but stay and go on, yeah, I mean, go on hang out with me. So anywhere in the world I go, places have their ups and downs. They've got their affluence and they've got their lack thereof. Let's just call it that, right? I hate using the word poverty, but it's a real thing. All right, I've never gone to a country in the world and not seen the upside and the downside. But even in the downside, people in their own culture and their own homes will find the positive, the good, the laughter. People always have things to smile about, right? Now I feel like Jamaica is the epicenter of laughter and smiles and whatever. Them say we screw face and we this and that, but it seems screw face and bad man them, you know. When them not look on and not look on them, I be a teeth when them run back with them friends. Pure that. But when we think about our rich history and legacy and culture, man, and just what we bring to the table, you think of how the small island has affected this international space. One thing I will say, and I'm ridiculously proud of, there's no island, there's no country, there's no continent I've ever been to, and I don't see the effects and the effects of Jamaican culture. From who not trying to do their best version of the reggae, to those people trying to do their best version of jerk. You know what I mean? Something. I ain't never been to. I dare you all to go to a country in the world and go to Google and type in Jamaican restaurant and see if you're not going to find one. Right? See if you're not going to find one. Last year I decided, you know what? I have never been, believe it or not, never been to Niagara Falls. And I said, I want to go. I'm actually going on the Canadian side and I stay right by the falls. You know? So it was a special occasion. So told my wife, let's roll. And I travel a lot. As you can tell, I'm in a hotel right now, right? I'm on the road. So I am guilty too of anywhere in the world I look for a Jamaican restaurant. Now, am I there to explore and to enjoy other cultures? Yeah. But if I did it too long, I need I need my things, right? So I looked up right near Niagara Falls and I found a Jamaican restaurant not too far, probably 10 minutes from where the falls are. Proper thing to, you know. I'm a vex with DNG, I'm a vex with all owner because I realize that there are some things that DNG, Grace, and other of our manufacturers export to other places, but they're not coming to us. And we don't have it in Jamaica. We don't have it in like America and the diaspora and the New York, South Florida area, right? But I'm not mad at y'all. I am, but I'm just saying that. But it's just an experience, man. You know, like David said, the beach is a culture, the sporting, the heroes and heroines and the language, the patois, with thing, with expression, with dances, with sound system, even a bad man them. It's something about Jamaica. And I must also say there's something about our patriotism too, because I say this, and I said this to let's just say the person is, I don't know if they consider themselves a politician, but they work for the government, right? And my thing was, I think our artists, our musicians, and our athletes, our talented people, actors, you know, or whomever, they brand Jamaica. They do so much more to brand and market Jamaica than the Minister of Tourism will ever be able to do. All those high spikes and reports in visitors to the island of Jamaica this year proving to be a phenomenal one for tourism. Of course, somebody's going to take the credit. It's going to be the reigning political party, right? The reigning administration. And within that's going to be the Ministry of Tourism and stuff like that. But I'm going to be honest with you. They probably should take 10% of that. I give the other 90 because they ain't doing much. I'm not saying they're not doing their thing, you know, but in comparison to the way how our artists, our musicians, our athletes wear that flag on their back and on their chest across the globe, right? Trust me. Trust me. And there's another set of people who do so much to brand Jamaica, sometimes unappreciated. And that's the diaspora. The diaspora does so much for brand Jamaica. Everybody that resides in the diaspora that loves and adores Jamaica. We don't have a conversation with somebody without involving and invoking our Jamaicanness. It could be sports that ain't got nothing to do with us. It could be food that ain't got nothing to do with us. It could be cities that ain't got nothing to do with us. It could be world events that ain't got nothing to do with us. Before that conversation is done, you're going to hear about Jamaica. How beautiful it is. Probably how much more beautiful it is than what we're talking about. You're at the beach and people enjoying the beach. We're going to talk about the beach because we love the beach. That's why we're there, right? But before we leave that beach, you're going to hear about how better the beaches in Jamaica are, right? We're going to get some food and eat some food and enjoy the food because we're just here for that. But before we're done eating everything, you're going to hear how much better the food in Jamaica is than that, right? I just saw it things stay. We're not lying either. A patriotic bunch, right? Complain about things, can't take certain things, can't take this and that, but we're there to support. Our politicians have disappointed us throughout the years, right? Suck. I'm telling you the worst. Right about now, over the course of the years, man, business nobody wants. The development is development. It's going to come over time. Right? So, but if we're grading things, it's two set of people that get the pink slips. You know? If we're really going around and just doing quality assurance and firing people, we'd be firing everybody that's in the government, right? All the ministers and everything. Everybody get fired because they're not doing a good job. And all the pastors will get fired too. They're not doing a good job. So the two people who are failing miserably are the politicians and the pastors, right? We can talk about our police and all them things, but they fall under the umbrella of, you know what I mean? But when it comes to our people, our athletes, our unacclaimed and uncelebrated and underpaid, are not paid at all, ambassadors, those are the people, man. And not just the people at home, the people, the diaspora. Because guess what the diaspora is? The diaspora is the long arm of Jamaica. The prehensibility of Jamaica is the diaspora. Reaching its tentacles, its warm reggae-infused hands across the world to hold on to people and pull them to the island of Jamaica. Right? That's what we do as the diaspora. Going all across the globe, spreading the word. Right? When I say I've never visited a country and left that country, and by the time I left the country, I don't see a Bob Marley shirt, a One Love something. They probably ain't getting no money off of it. But you see brand Jamaica. If you go to many other Caribbean islands, no indictment, no whatever the case may be, you see where people have taken parts of Jamaican culture and made it their own. There are countries, again, not calling the name because we're not about the thing, that don't have a solid culture of them own in terms of music and even food and them kind of thing. They have recipes and have stuff like that. But when you go into that place and see what they promote to the folks outside, a lot of it is that reggae music, or at least their version, their spin, their take on that reggae music. Right? That's also their take on the food. Everywhere you go, you hear people do them version of the jerk chicken. No matter what, them talk about them national dish and them food and them dish, and it tastes good, them thing proper. But you ain't leaving that island without somewhere somebody talk about some jerk. And guess what? And the Jamaican beef patty. Chicken patty come up and them thing come up. But I talk about the OG, the veteran, the Jamaican beef patty. Launch up yourself, my G. You do your thing long time. You know what I mean? You forget patty OD, patty OG. You know what I mean? Trust me. Yeah, a long time you do your thing. All right? David said, I'm have a book out of the diaspora called Pieces of Jamaica, Sharing Pride and Patriotism. Let me tell you something. You see all you, David, I give thanks because it's your lens. And behind that lens, your eye, people like yourself that capture moments, pieces of Jamaica in still form, put it down, and send it across the world so that lots of people can pick that up and say, wow, I want to be here. I am one of those people. Listen, we haven't been everywhere in the world, and 9 times out of 10, the places that we choose to visit is because we've seen something in some publication somewhere, we've seen something on TV, or somebody's told us about it. So for all those people who take the brand throughout the globe and share it with the masses, thank you. I appreciate it. You know what I mean? Big time, big time, big time. Jamaica appreciates it, all right? And like I said, our people patriotic bad. No matter how kind of foolishness, all kind of things are going on and whatnot, we don't want to hear nothing but about the talk bad about my place coming with vex. You understand? Even though I know certain things are true and I wish certain things would be different, but you ain't going to say it though. You know what I mean? I am going to be mad. And there's a lot of things that could be better. Tony Rebel said, you know what I mean? Enough things could have been better. But sweet, sweet Jamaica. You know what I mean? The dollars not run, but yeah, man, banana. You know what I mean? Things are going on. And we hear things, and sometimes we hear representations that come out that's less than desirable. And I don't pay too much attention to it because a lot of times the issue is we don't control the narrative. The people that control the narrative, i.e. Uncle Sam, paints the narrative how they want to paint the narrative. Crime in the U.S. is way more and way higher than it is in Jamaica, right? It's on sheer size and proximity alone, right? If you count every murder that happens in Jamaica every year and compare it to every murder that happens in just, let's say, Illinois alone, shoot, me can narrow it down not just state, but to Chicago alone. Probably outnumbers the whole country of Jamaica, but they do their per capita thing. I'm not mad at them, right? Plus, they need to sell the U.S. as a marketing piece, and they control the narrative. So, hey, it is what it is. But at the end of the day, you know, a lot of people make you scared to go visit the homeland. But once you touch down, you feel like you ain't never wanna leave. You ain't never wanna leave. Right? Let me tell you something. You walk in your favorite supermarket, Whole Foods, whatever you want to go, your fresh markets, you're going, you know what I'm saying? You're going out farmers markets, whatever, and go grab your fruit here in South Florida or wherever. Enjoy it. Ain't up anything proper. But you go to Jamaica and get the same fruit. Get a banana, get a pineapple, get a mango, get a apple, get a guinea, get a naseberry, get a watermelon, get a soursop, get a sweet sop. Anything you get, you realize something's in the soil, baby. Something is in the soil. And the same thing. Something's in the soil. Something's in the sea. Something's in the ear. Something's in the people. A patriotic bunch. You know what I mean? A patriotic bunch of people. Jamaica was say. One thing that I found hilarious when I moved to this country is how anytime you walked into a venue or you were in a venue and see some Jamaican come in, a lot of time they might go somehow, somewhere, rinse off a cloth, cuss a cloth or say something because they need it known that they are Jamaicans. There's a lot of people in here that look like me, but their swag ain't mine. Their background ain't mine. Their culture ain't mine. None of that ain't mine. Know what I mean? None of that ain't mine. So they come in and them say, yo, rinse off 2 o'clock real fast. And people over there, oh my gosh, those Jamaicans. Then they go back having fun. But guess what? They just want you to know they're Jamaicans. They're just repping. You know what I mean? Just representing. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Worse when our Olympic time. Worse if we ever reach the World Cup. Big up our reggae girls. Reggae boys are not going doing the thing. You know what I mean? Wishing y'all some luck. All that. But to see the patriotism in the diaspora, it's dope. You know what I mean? Dope. Now, we are from this side of the world that we don't support the dictatorships, and that's the reason why we look down on, if at all we do, because sometimes we don't. I mean, on places that promote and deal in dictatorship, from the vantage point of people not being able to express themselves and people having to do what you tell them to do in adverse to what they so desire or what they think is best for them as individuals and their families, right? And I say, I want to go and eat some food. Let me tell you something. You go on my IG, at my G code, follow me there. You see me under the apple tree in Jamaica having a blast. Under the coconut tree in the cane, having a blast. A blast. I mean, no. We are from the side of the world that promotes freedom of speech and do you, be you, right? Don't violate no laws. Hopefully, they don't violate no moral codes, but we got to separate them because they're not one and the same. Not every crime is a sin. Not every sin is a crime according to what you're looking into and what you're reading and blah, 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 right? But all we ask is you don't violate none of that. You know what I'm saying? But we want to support the dictatorship thing. Especially the more open and exposed we get to Western world stuff, i.e. North America, i.e. America and their principles, right? Their convenient principles, right? But you're welcome now. I do notice what I would call pressured patriotism. Now, what is pressured patriotism? And again, the views of G. Cole does not represent those of Jamaicans.com, any other radio affiliates, not even Homegrown with G. Cole. I'm going rogue, right? But I think we practice as Jamaicans and in the diaspora something that I like to call pressured patriotism. Now, what is pressured patriotism, you might ask? Well, pressured patriotism is this. If you see wrong, if the country does wrong, if Jamaica does wrong, and you stand up, put your foot down and say, I don't support that, then many people, though they see wrong and it's wrong and in another circumstance, if it wasn't related to Jamaica, they would stand up and say, nah man, stand your ground, speak for it. But you see, once it comes to brand Jamaica, they will pressure you into the patriotism, which means don't speak out, don't stand up, don't stand for, don't stand your ground, because at the current moment, we need the highlight on Jamaica, and that's not good for it. Now, at the end of the day, it's never convenient to stand up for yourself, right? If the bully's bullying you, you just have to stand up yourself. It ain't convenient for him for you to do that too, because he was hoping to walk over here and get your lunch money that day, right? It ain't convenient. But you got to stand up for yourself. Now, there are certain industries, and I'm going to use industry because certain organizations that have been failing and performing way below standard for decades, right? JAAA, right? Talking about the athletics and the JFF. Never been performing up to standard. We love with Captain Horace Burrell, and we love with this captain and that captain or whatever the case may be, but none of them. The JFF has never performed well. The JFF has always been sketchy. Just like everything else, we have our preferences. It's no different from prime ministers, no different from presidents. Some have done what you would deem better jobs than others, but they've all underperformed. All been sketchy, right? We are unfortunately in a position where we're choosing the best of the bad lot 9 times out of 10, right? No, I've had recent conversations with regard to one, well, let's backtrack a little further than that. I've seen the negative press and heard the negative press that came to Bonnie Shaw, Khadija Shaw, who plays for the Reggae Girls, right? And any one of the Reggae Girls who spoke up. We heard the rumblings under the quiet, and they were doing their thing and going to the World Cup and winning. And we've been hearing the rumblings, and we saw Cedella Marley supporting and this and that and that. And we heard the rumblings, and, you know, in our quiet space and to each other, and because it wasn't going out to John Public, we're always saying, no, JFF, if you do proper, deal with the girl, I'm good, because the girl, I'm going to win them thing, right? But as soon as they stand up for themselves in the public eye and the public platform, then all of a sudden, treason. Because no matter how much they are not protected, no matter how much they are taken advantage of, no matter how much they are not properly compensated, right? When it's time for the big events, we want to be represented. So we want to see the black, green, and gold. So even though we understand and we see a thing and we're like, you know, say a long time I deal with a shabby, but guess what? Just go represent the country same way. It's not about them. It's about the whole country. Pressured patriotism. So we're telling these people, you can't stand up for yourself. Because if you stand up for yourself, then we are going to come at you. Jamaicans and the diaspora. Sometimes I sit back and I watch many popular voices. And by popular, a lot of times loud voices. Speak on everything Jamaica, from the AAA to the JFF and whatever the case may be. And what I've realized pretty much is, in not so many words, it's no different from telling LeBron and them to shut up and dribble. You're here for our entertainment. You're here to promote us. You're here to make sure that we're represented properly on the big stage. The world must see us for who we are, the little, what Talawa, the mighty, the great, the one, the only, the dope Jamaica. But the people who do that, we have turned them into property, right? When we see it happening in other countries, or when we see it happening, you know, the people can't speak up, and them can't speak up during the off season. You can speak up when nothing now go on, in between World Cups. You know what I mean? talk up and yeah, we champion in the cup. But it's when the World Cup time come, take the beating, take the this and that and go and put on your black, green and go and represent the nation. Now some people may call it national pride and whatever the case may be. I call it pressured patriotism. Right? I call it pressured patriotism. Now me as an individual, I'm an anti-organization type of person. I'm a pro-player, anti-organization type of person. Why? Now here's why. Let's think about our favorite sports from where. The basketball, most popular, right? Organizations don't necessarily have a face. And I'm not talking about you have a franchise player and that's the face of your organization. Nah. I am talking about there's no Mr. Miami Heat. Even though there's Mickey, you know the funny thing, Mickey Harrison and them, they could walk down the street and nobody know who they are. Right? Many of them. The buses from LA. Yes, as much as we're still gonna watch sports, whatever the case may be, some of them people walk past you in the mall and you don't know who they are. So there's no face to that organization. So when the organization acts the fool, nobody comes at the organization because there's nobody to come at. But when a player stands up for themselves, then people get mad at the player. A player can wake up, and it's happened multiple times, wake up tomorrow morning and get traded to somewhere else, shipped off to somewhere else. If it's soccer, then it says sold to somewhere else. Not included in the planning of that. But that's done for the convenience and for the benefit of the organization. Nobody says nothing. Now they're like, oh man, I can't believe he ain't here no more. And they keep rolling, right? The organization can ill-treat the players. And again, there's no Mr. Organization, so there's nobody to go punch in the face, right? But if the player decides this is not for me, I don't appreciate what's going on here, I'm going to go do what's best for me and my family, then all of a sudden, we start looking at them as the traitors, as being, treasonous. You know what I mean? They've committed acts of treason. How dare they decide they want to go somewhere else for more money, for better treatment, for better facilities, for better everything. How dare they? We, the fans, loved you. We were here for you. You are rich. You're making a lot of money. Why are you complaining? You're making $100 million. Let me explain something to you. If any organization is paying a player $100 million, imagine how much they make. If you want to look at it and say, you know something? I don't know why am I making the noise and I make $150 million. If he's making 150, then he's making fractions of a percentage of what the organization is making. Don't be an idiot. Don't get it twisted. I feel like, say, the organization is stretching and bending their wallets and digging deep. No, right? And the only reason they pay that player is to fill them seats, and they are filling them seats. They are filling them seats. They're selling jerseys. They're selling those commercials. They're bringing the big eyes and the big bucks. And you be like, well, those tickets or whatever. Yeah, you got people coming in there spending buku money on courtside seats, buku money on season tickets, advertising for a lot of money. Those companies, those owners are making a lot of money. But you're not sitting in the organization's pockets, right? But you're sitting in the athlete's pocket. You sit on the athlete's pockets. You know how many athletes be going broke? And you talk about, well, they just have bad financial, they're not financial discipline. Many of them organizations got no financial discipline either, but they are so wealthy that they will never go broke. It's just that's the disparity in money. So step out of the people's pockets and talk about, say, well, they get paid good money, so then they shut up and dribble, shut up and play. That's what you signed up for. Nobody signed up for anything. Right? Your wife, your daughter, your sister goes in the store and buys a nice dress. She did not sign up to get harassed. Right? Nah. So about this pressured patriotism. You have Leon Bailey now. And I've been having these conversations, and many of the conversations that I have go like this. Man, I get what you're saying. I get what he's saying. I understand the JFF shady for real. And I believe him and blah, blah, blah. But here comes the conjunction. But him for just suit up and do it for the national. You know what I mean? Just do it for the national. Just do it for Jamaica. Jamaica? And then people get mad when they want you to get this fake humility, because I think there's people don't I don't want to say it's misinterpret. I want to say misconstrue, because we do it conveniently. What humility is. Humility is not downplaying your talents. It's not downplaying your achievements. It's being able to see everybody as human while being the most talented, while being the most successful. That's humility. Humility is not having it and acting like you ain't got it. And here's the deal. As athletes, if you're good and you feel like brag and boast and beat your chest and be confident, and somebody may say cocky and whatever the case may be, I don't care if you back it up on Sunday night, on Monday night. I don't care. If you talk a lot of smack and you act like you all that, but you go out there and you light it up, then hey, I'm still a fan. You're an athlete. That's what you're supposed to do. People talking about, oh, you score, it's bad sportsmanship to what? Nah. If you are a receiver, a wide receiver, you're a running back or whatever the case may be, and you got a whole defensive line up there that's there to rip your head off and make sure you don't get into the end zone, and you make it in the end zone, dance. Celebrate. Right? You got a center there, you got a whole defensive section in a backcourt and a basketball there if you try to forget you. Dance. Celebrate. Right? That's an American thing too, because if you notice in soccer, international soccer, Europe, the UK, South America, Central America, right? Sometimes there's 4 or 5, depending on the defensive system where they're running, defenders over there stopping a forward, a striker from go score. If you get through and score, celebrate. Run around the whole field. Referees kicking you out the game because you celebrated. You're supposed to. It's part of sports. You celebrating doesn't mean it's bad and poor sportsmanship. Celebrate yourself. I don't believe in participation trophies. So for the parents that's watching and your kids are in sports and you want them to get a trophy for showing up, you suck and so does your kids. I'm just saying, you suck and so does your kids, and they're not going to be good at nothing because of you. If I won, give me my trophy. If I lost, don't. Don't give everybody that participates a trophy. It sucks. You're raising people who don't know how to lose and to go regroup and to recover and to come back better next time. Nah. So you and your whack kids can go on. No participation trophies. I'm sorry. If you ever asked for one, you suck. Right? So here's what I'm saying. David, I hit it easy though. So here's what I'm saying. It's going to come to the Leon Bailey thing there. Leave it be. The man, one point that 3 people kept pulling up 3 different times is, oh, he said that he's bigger than the Jamaican team. He's not. I didn't hear that. I watched the interview. What I heard was him playing for Jamaica brings more eyes to Jamaica than him playing for Jamaica will bring eyes to him. So in other words, playing for Team Jamaica benefits Leon Bailey as an individual less than it benefits Jamaica when Leon Bailey is playing for Jamaica. And I don't disagree with that. I don't care what nobody says. Oh, you think you're bigger than the country. You think you're bigger than... He's not saying he's bigger than the country. He's pointing out facts. Everybody wants to point out facts until it ruffles your feathers. Now, he's speaking facts. He is speaking facts. Right? It's not to say Leon Bailey is bigger than Jamaica, and I never heard him say that. And then, well, what about the other people on the team? The other people, they're going through it too. Yes, they are, but they're not in a position to speak like he is in a position to speak. Now, there's a time when some of your favorite players, right? Some of your favorite players coming up, a lot of OGs and great players that played for Jamaica coming up, they didn't have no international contract. They weren't out there on the big stages like a lot of these people are today. So the nonsense that they were going through at the hands of the JFF and the JAAA, they kind of had to endure because they needed that platform. Whenever Jamaica was on the CONCACAF stage or, the World Cup stage or whatever the case may be, then people are looking in, the little island and blah, 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 and they're looking in and and these people may have opportunities at contracts. But right now, individual, a lot of these people are more successful than the team, right? It's just what it is. Sometimes you do have a team out there, and the name is a perfect example. Miami FC. Don't think for a minute. Lionel Messi is bigger than Miami FC. Sometimes people don't want to hear that. But when we say bigger than Miami FC, we're not talking about the people who personalize it and you have the man out there on the team playing and they're playing their hearts out and whatever the case may be. That's not what they're saying. We're talking about Miami FC, the brand, the organization, the building. Right? People aren't coming there to see Miami FC. They're coming there to see Lionel Messi. They weren't selling out games even when they're losing. When Messi's there, they are. So all that back in the day thing when people are out there showcasing their abilities on the world stage, and thank you, Team Jamaica. Right now, these people are out there in their regular day playing for their professional organizations, and people are watching these people and saying, who's that kid? Oh, it's such and such from Jamaica. From Jamaica, they got what? All of a sudden, now scouts are coming to Jamaica. Scouts are looking at Jamaica because before, remember, we're known for our reggae music and we're known for our food, right? Known for reggae music, known for the food. Not necessarily known for no soccer. Don't let nobody tell you nothing. Right? We're known for track and field. We were not known across the world for soccer. Here's one thing I will say. I played football as a kid growing up in Jamaica. Everybody that played football in Jamaica think I'm a baller. Everybody, even the people who were better than you, suck. Right? Not everybody's great. They're not better than you. I remember, I'm not calling my high school back in the day name because we don't want to diss nobody, but I remember these ballers in school walk around like gods, you know what I mean? I'm me the man because they're better than the other students at school and what be fancy things are going on. And one time D-Cup come on to go up on the field, it's like when you look on the field, you feel like it's 11 versus 4 because you come home with 7 love and them something there, right? No matter how you strike, it just now go toward goal unless you're playing at home and all that with people who are less talented than you. So when you go in the international sphere, you come across real ballers, but we love making say, yeah, man, Jamaica. Again, that patriotism, right? And I ain't mad at it. I'm guilty too, right? But we weren't producing soccer players like that. So at the end of the day, now you have people who are second generation Jamaicans who are out there playing and they are representing Jamaica. So they bring eyes to Jamaica, but they're not as effective as bringing eyes to Jamaica as that homegrown Jamaican player that is on the world stage. Now we've got a couple of players who were born elsewhere, but they're Jamaican parentage, and they've, decided to represent Jamaica. That's awesome. But they're from those staples over there. Now, Leon Bailey was born in Jamaica, started his thing here in Jamaica. So that makes you really need to go look at Jamaica. Right? Damari Gray and all them, they're not gonna make you come look at Jamaica and see what's going on here because they weren't born here, even though they're representing. And of all the names, you think Leon Bailey is the biggest name of a Jamaican soccer player. To be perfectly honest with you, I'm going to go down and say, ever. No, you're gonna have the purists and the people are gonna say, Skill Cole. No. Because majority of one talk about Skill Cole never say Skill Cole play yet. You just hear your uncle and your grandfather talk about Skill Cole. And I mean him Cole, so I'm supposed to say the same thing too. Right? When I was playing ball, I used to tell people that my name Skill Cole. Right? But at the end of the day, no. Now we're not talking about put your skills to the test and put everybody on some measurement scale. I'm talking about in terms of just who's bigger right now. I don't think a Jamaican soccer player has ever been bigger than Leon Bailey. So he is not lying. And when we try condemn the man and ridicule him and act like he's wrong for pointing out the flaws within the JFF, a less successful athlete cannot do it because if they do it, they would probably be kicked out. Right? Nobody's going to listen because what do they know? What do they know? See you tomorrow, see me. As a matter of fact, I'll be on a flight. I might. Damn. You never know. I'll figure out what my flight time is tomorrow. See what time it is. But thank you so much as always. Much love. Love you, love you, love you, love you. But at the end of the day, he's the one to say it. All the times, our most empowered, our most gifted, our strongest voices we look to them and we ask them to speak up. So we asked Paul Bogle to speak up, and so we asked Marcus Garvey to speak up, and Malcolm X and all those people to speak up, right? Because they are the voices that people are listening to. But then, when they speak up, because they're the voices that's supposed to speak up, we want to tell them not to. I mean, you can't do that because at the wrong time, this more you speak up about. And this more you speak up about. And this more you speak up about. Right? And this more you speak up about. That's how we stay. We don't want them to speak up when it's not convenient for us. But he is the voice. He might have to take it. The JFF going to have to pay attention. I guarantee they're going to get some better facilities as a result of this. They're going to get better equipment because they don't want anybody else to say it. And they're bringing in a lot of international people who are used to the same type of thing that Leon is used to. So you know what? Let's fix this thing up. But if nobody ever spoke about it, they would have done nothing. Now, David, let me see here. Someone said, Chico, you're speaking facts, especially when it comes to the politicians in Jamaica, they use bully tactics. Absolutely. David I says, Zane, so we're pressured to keep quiet about things being done incorrectly. We need for bonfire upon the politicians and those who make the athletes like the JOA and the JFF. Facts. David I say, even worse for Leon, JFF never wanted him nor invited Leon to play until he made it internationally. Yup, because of them beef with Pops, right? Yep. He built his success before he was wanted and respected in Jamaica. Kind of sound like Bob Marley too. Bang, 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 right? No, David I said, Leon isn't number one. Sterling is bigger than Leon. Yes, Sterling is bigger than Leon. But the reason I didn't mention Sterling is because Raheem Sterling doesn't play for Jamaica. He represents England. So, I don't remember. He's a Jamaican by birth, but nationality. I remember, when you fill out the document and them say nationality, citizenship, right? Nationality, citizenship. So he's a Jamaican national, British citizen, right? So he reps Britain. He reps England. So I don't count him in that, right? But Leon Bailey represents Jamaica. Now here's the funny thing about it. If Leon becomes a citizen of the UK, and don't get me wrong, they have a plethora of talent out there that who knows if he would make the team. But if he became a citizen of the United Kingdom and decided to rep England instead because of the relationship with Jamaica, we would further burn him out. That man could not come through the airport. Right? But what I don't understand is we will say quietly in our homes amongst our friends, yeah, the JFA sucks, and they've always sucked, and they did things poorly, and whatever the case may be. It's a scam over there. My teeth money a long time. We've been hearing this from the longest, right? Misappropriation of funds, right? Misappropriation of everything. Poor leadership, nepotism, all kind of whatever, right? And we say it. But when the player says it, the big player say it, we want to vex with him now because we need him to shut up and play. We need him to play and help carry the World Cup. We need him to, no. Sound to do it to Bunny Shaw. Same thing to do Bunny Shaw. Right? Young lady out there got the black, green, and gold on her back. Playing, everybody loving Khadijah. Oh my gosh, Khadijah, Jody Brown, all of them doing what they do. Yeah. The minute them stand up and say, JFF, we can do better, and start call out some things, then all of a sudden she's a liar and she's a this and she's a that and blah, 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 blah. Because right now, as far as you're concerned, she's taking a side and the side ain't Jamaica. And you know good and well, none of these athletes are talking to you, the individual Jamaican. They're talking, and they're not talking about Jamaica. They're talking about the JFF and the JAAA, which people will tell you all of them that they're not branches of government, right? They're quick to tell you they're not branches of government. So they're not talking to and about Jamaica and Jamaicans. They're talking about those organizations. But we want to pressure them into patriotism because we want to be able to go to work Monday morning and say, yo, you see the little islands, the little island Jamaica, we're little and we're taller. You see, we beat everybody and we're going through. Move from here, so with that. Right? David's too late to switch. He cannot rep. I know he can't, but I'm just saying, figuratively speaking, if it was an option, and he opted to do so based on the bad treatment that he's gotten from his own people, we'd persecute him for that too. Because you see, as sports fans and fans of anything, whenever the athlete or the artist or whomever doesn't do what we want them to do, how we want them to do it, we don't mind them leaving. We just don't want them to succeed anywhere else. Look on LeBron James. The most hated athlete ever. The most hated basketball player that's ever come out of the U.S. That probably has the best reputation outside off the court. Done some of the most things quietly, humbly, represented himself the best. Don't have no scandals and no drama. And listen, we're not swear for nobody, but if we don't know, we don't know. It don't come out, but that's what it is. Don't try to dig up and make up and say, I'm sure something out there want to find out yet. If it don't find out, it don't exist. But we don't want him to succeed because he didn't do what we wanted him to do for our organization. Or meaning either Miami, Cleveland, or whomever. Right? So this is what we're talking about. We're talking about this pressured patriotism. And yes, Jamaicans and the diaspora, 105% guilty. Guilty of pressured patriotism. Yes, you are. Jamaica, Jamaicans, you are guilty of pressured patriotism. And to be honest with you, that's the reason why I would think artists never sign, them people never sign an autograph, and when them soon up, never ignore the hell out of you. But they're not gonna say they're arrogant and them they're not whatever, because they don't. But the same people out here talking about I'm a star, once they don't do what you want them to do, then all of a sudden they're the villain. Man, get out of here. So, like I said, this pressured patriotism, we ought to stop it. First thing before we can stop it is we gotta accept and admit that we practice and we deal in pressured patriotism. So as I sit back and I watch, it makes me say, all the people that we've celebrated, you don't care about none of them. You just care about the spotlight that they shine upon you and your country. You don't care about Bob. Never did, until Bob bring all the accolades that he brought to y'all. You don't care about Junior Gang. You don't care about Sean Paul. You don't care about Shaggy until their names are being called up in big musical accolades across the globe. Then all of a sudden, yeah man, Jamaica will look about with Talawa. You don't care about Usain Bolt. Right? You just care about what spotlight he brought. You don't care about no Shelly. You care about what spotlight she brought, because if any of them did ever decide to stand up and go against the gym, then we would torture them too. Right? You don't care about no Ilian. You don't care about no Sharika. You don't care about nobody. Pressured patriotism. JFF, you suck. JFF, you suck. JAAA, you suck too. Now that we've established that you all suck, what are you going to do? Do something to fix it. Jamaicans, all y'all that are here pressuring these people into pressured patriotism, if you're involved in that, which you probably are, just hold that one to you suck too. Right? Now, don't hit me up and be like, what do you mean by me suck? I don't support. If it's not you, it's not you. But if it's you, just hold that one there. Right? And if it ain't you, but it's your husband or your wife, just hold it and say, babe, right, let's go on. Him soon play the Israel and the Benin man again, so we're going to forgive him. You know what I mean? Right when I get into telling y'all how much you suck and the participation trophies that you want your children to get, and you suck as a parent, and your kids ain't going to be no athletes, they ain't going to be nothing because you suck, and you don't want them to come up the right way. Right when you go vex with me, let's go. So boom, bang, bang. You can't vex with me again. Ooh, you want to leave. I'ma drop big tune.
And there you have it. Thank you so much for tuning in. It has indeed been a pleasure. Please be sure to subscribe to the podcast, Homegrown with G. Cole. It's available on iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, TuneIn, Spotify, iHeartRadio, wherever you listen to your podcast, we're there. Also, follow us on social media at MyGCole, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and subscribe to the Homegrown with G. Cole YouTube channel. All right? To see the video of this, go on to YouTube. It is there. Remember, be safe, be kind, and be good to each other. My name is G. Cole, and this is Homegrown.
Nakikinika sa música, Homegrown with G. Cole.
Estás escuchando Homegrown con G. Cole.
您现在正在收听的是 Homegrown with G. Cole。
You're listening to Homegrown with G. Cole.
Remember, all the music played here on the podcast Homegrown with G. Cole is available on iTunes, Spotify, Apple Music, and all your digital providers. Please support the artists.